The last guy that was drinking secret juice, Machida, drinking his piss, we all saw what happened to Machida. So, I've got a good recipe of taking guys down that like to drink that secret juice.
It's the co-meet event, and I'm honestly so excited for this fight meet. I mean, two of the most memeable guys in the UFC, two of the best looking dudes in the UFC, yet somehow are both awkward yet endearing at the same time. I mean, love both these guys. Luke Rockhold taking on Paulo Costa, and it's been pretty rough for both these guys, right? They're both coming in on two fight losing streaks, but Paulo's was pretty recent, right? He just lost to Marvin back in October of last year, and then before that, he picked up his very first loss in the UFC as well, obviously, and got absolutely smoked by Izzy in that title shot opportunity. And you're waiting to see if Paulo is going to rebound and rediscover that sauce that he had, or if Izzy just absolutely took his soul, because Luke Rockhold has been struggling of recently, so I think that the UFC is trying to get Paulo back on track with a setup co-meet opportunity, but Luke Rockhold, although he has struggled, it's been a while since he's even been in there, right? It's the first time fighting in 3 years. The last time we saw him was against Jan Blachowicz, and I remember you and I were watching that fight via FaceTime. I was out in Poland. You were back home, and that was quick work. Absolutely an amazing finish for Jan Blachowicz, and it forced Luke to sort of walk away, reevaluate, make the decision that, okay, the 205 guys is a little bit too much, so when I do come back, it's definitely at 85. But even at 85, he had lost two of three, and it was kind of rough sledding there too, right? Bisping took his belt, and then he rebounded with a nice, easy win over David Branch. But then he got slept by Yoel Romero, and again, after that, it was up to 205 to face Jan. So, what are your thoughts on this co-meet opportunity? I know you've been catching some of those schmo interviews with Luke Rockhold, which is always grade A quality content. But what are you seeing from Luke in those interviews? Are you seeing a guy who's ready to come and go on a last run of his? He says he's next for a title shot if he beats the Eraser. So is he due? Is he getting this one done? Or is Paulo Costa going to erase him?
So Luke is definitely due for a win, but versus Paulo Costa, I don't think this is the one. I think this is a bad one. I think the matchup should have been Sean Strickland for his comeback. That's a better, easier fight for him. Um, just I don't really. Sean's not really. He's more of a volume guy than a dangerous heavy hitter guy. Costa is both of those. He's volume and meat bombs, which sad to say, but Luke is known to keep his chin up real high. He's got to make sure those model pics show his jawline just right. But that gets him knocked out. So, you gotta pick which one is more important. And I don't know where Luke is. I have no idea because some days he's sharp, and then other days is he even human? In these interviews, he says the craziest, weirdest stuff. He's just a weirdo. But this is a perfect matchup. The battle of the six packs, the battle of the weirdos, the battle of who's going to the next Bachelor show because that person's getting cut and going straight there. Um, but I gotta go with my boy, the Eraser. I've been seeing his IG. He's looking real lean, real sharp. He's got a new head of hair. His confidence is back. His hair is falling out from whatever was going on there. When he fought Izzy, that's why he lost. But now he's got a nice, fresh new head of hair. He's gonna get it done. I gotta go with Tapology, but I'm praying Luke wins this.
I know, right? I want Luke to get this done so bad, and I'm even a fan of Eraser. I think he's hilarious too, but I want to see Luke pick up a W and go on a last fun streak because gotta imagine there could be some funny moments for sure in the future if he can start with a nice win against Paulo Costa. But 90% of Tapology is rolling with the Eraser. Basically, all of it is brown, so they think that, as you said, Luke Rockhold is going to be coming up with that chin in the air, replicating the model shoots, but forgetting that it is a cage fight, and as a result, might get slept by the Eraser. And only 10% is rolling with Luke. It's pretty diverse, right? There's some KO, there's some submission, there is some decision. At minus 295, is that too heavy of a price for Paulo Costa losing streak, or conversely, are you seeing minus 295 as kind of juicy against Luke Rockhold?
Minus 270 or 295 or whatever, in my opinion, is definitely not worth it because Luke's had 2 years off. He's had time to heal that chin, heal that brain, that noggin of his. Maybe he's developed a strong chin. You know, before it was just one after another. He wasn't letting enough time rest. Now he's had a good amount of time rested. So it'd be very interesting. So you don't know what's going to happen. He's either showing up or he's showing up with a glass chin. I don't like those odds. If it was a minus 150, I'd probably hammer it, but minus 275, not worth it in my opinion. I'm going to be looking at the props for decision, or maybe even a finish for both of these guys and hedge them both if the odds are good enough. But I do like plus 225, even straight up for just a $50, for Luke, because Luke is due for one. It's almost like he should get this done just purely by statistics of like he's due for one. We know he's really good. If you watch his training videos and you hear people talk about him, like he's like a practice mat warrior. Like no one beats him, but Khabib apparently. And so this is gonna be a really good fight. I don't like the matchup though. I don't like the power of Costa, and he's got a great gas tank as we've seen. Even when he's real thick on too much wine. Marvin Vettori, he looked great versus Marvin Vettori. I couldn't believe that he put in that amount of work for all those rounds versus Marvin at that heavy. Like that's crazy. So there's no gas tank issue there. There's just a glass chin issue for Luke. It's been very interesting to see how Luke can get this done. I really just don't see any path Luke gets it done besides maybe by decision, maybe a knockout. Like no one knocks out Costa but Izzy. So if Luke knocks him out, he is going to get a title fight next, 100%.
Yeah, I buy that, and I think that a knockout would be tough. I think maybe a submission, but I think that would probably be tough as well because I don't know if this fight is even going to be on the mat, and if so, if it'll be there for very long. But like you said, decision, Luke Rockhold, I think would be Luke's best pathway. And you mentioned Paulo Costa. It was impressive how there was the conversation of the weight issue, right? It was supposed to be at 85 versus Marvin, and then they basically end up fighting at light heavyweight. But even given that fact, he still went 5 rounds, and that was the first time in his career he went 5 rounds. It was a main event, and if we remember, he kind of started to turn on later on in that fight, right? Like midway through the contest, like rounds 2 through 4, he was seemingly on like kind of cruise control, but in the late fourth and then definitely the fifth, I feel like he did some of his best work in that contest. So very just kind of an interesting performance from Paulo Costa. He did end up losing, but he had his moments for sure. So can't wait to see what he looks like in this one against Luke Rockhold. And in this one, meet minus 295 Costa, plus 245 Rockhold. I'm going with Luke Rockhold. I think he finds a way to get this one done. I don't know. I like his mentality. I want to believe that the OG vintage Luke Rockhold is back, and I think he's going to find a way to steal rounds via a lot of leg kicks, a lot of volume, and as long as he can protect his chin, not get erased by one of those YOLO meat bombs, which obviously is a lot to ask for Luke Rockhold, especially recent, I think he can win a decision in this one. So I'm bullish on the dog in this one. I'm riding the hype. I'm surfing with Luke Rockhold, and maybe it's a bad idea and he ends up getting slept in 30 seconds, but I got to roll with Luke in this one. Am I crazy?
No, not crazy at all. Would not surprise me. I hope he gets it done. But guys, throw in the comments. Are you taking handsome Luke or are you taking the eraser? Let us know down below.